Good afternoon, everybody. All of you who are still here, I'm very grateful to you for staying on, and I understand that the people who left wanted to get home early and all of that, and had trains to catch and connections to make. But in any event, we have the result now at the predicted time, 3:30, which I'm somewhat amazed about. But in any event, I'm going to go through them for the record. First of all, question 1. And I'm not going to read the question. It's up there, and you have the ballot, the copies of the ballot paper. And the number of eligible voters, 75. The number of votes cast, 75. No invalid votes, so the total valid vote was 75. And the two options to vote against, 73 members voted yes. That's 97%. And 2 members voted no. That's a meagre 3%. So that's that question. Then going on to question 2, again, I won't read the question, it's up there. Same number of eligible votes, 75. The same number of votes cast, 75. No invalid votes, so the total valid poll was 75. Now, on the voting, all of the voters voted for the yes option, so that's 100%, and that's the outcome there. Then going to question 3, the question, I don't think the question is up there, but only the qualifications are up. Oh no, it is up there, yes, sorry. In any event, again, the same number of eligible voters, 75, the same number of votes cast, 75, and the same total valid poll, 75. And 60 votes in favour of I would be willing to pay higher taxes on carbon-intensive activities. That's 80% of the voters. And 15 or 20% would not be willing to pay higher taxes on carbon-intensive activities. So that's question 3. Question 4, again, the question is up there. The number of eligible voters, 75 again. The number of votes cast, 75. 1 invalid vote on this occasion. So the total valid poll was 74. And the way the voters voted was 71 or 96% voted yes, and 3 or 4% voted no. Question 6. Sorry, yes. Yes, question 5 seems to be a little bit problematic at all day, not just on my side. And you have the question again, 75 eligible voters, 75 votes cast, 1 invalid vote this time, so a total of 74 valid votes. And the breakdown on the vote was yes, 73 or 99%, and no, 1 vote or 1%. Question 6, again the question is up there. Number of eligible voters, 75. Number of votes cast, 75. No invalid votes this time, so the total valid poll was 75. And again on this occasion, all of the voters voted yes. That's 100%. Now, as you will recollect, question 7 was split as question 7A and question 7B. On question 7A, the number of eligible voters was 75. The number of votes cast, 75. No invalid vote, so the total valid poll was 75. And the voting in favour of yes, 73 votes or 97%. And then going to question 7B. Sorry? I have 7B.
Yeah, no, I mean on the screen.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, drama. I can't edit that. If you want to just read it out.
Yeah, it's 29 and 45. This was an innovation following the members' input, and the question was if the state should end all subsidies, should it do so at option 1 was immediately, or option 2 on a phased basis over a period of 5 years. Now, there were 75 eligible voters, and 75 votes were cast, 1 invalid vote, so there was a total valid poll of 74, and 29 voters, or 39%, voted for the ending immediately, and 45 or 61% voted for ending on a phased basis over a period of 5 years. So option 2 was the majority on that. Yes, and I'll move on to question 8 now. On this question, again, 75 eligible voters, 75 votes cast, no invalid vote, so a total valid poll of 75. And on this question, 70 votes in favour of yes, that's 93%, and 5 voters voted no, 7%. Now moving to question 9, again that question is on the screen. Again, 75 eligible voters, number of votes cast 75, no invalid votes, so the total valid poll was 75, and the breakdown of the voting was 72 votes or 96% yes, and 3 votes or 4% no. And then going on to question 10, again 75 eligible voters, the number of votes cast 75, invalid votes 1, so a total valid poll of 74, and the voting yes 68 votes or 92%, and no 6 votes or 8%. Question 11, again the question is on the screen. Again 75 eligible voters, the number of votes cast 75. There were 2 invalid votes on this occasion, so the total valid poll was 73, and the voting yes 65 votes for yes, and that's 89%, and 8 votes no, that's 11%. And then question 12, again you'll see from the screen 75 eligible voters, and they all cast a vote, and the total valid poll was 75, and the breakdown of the voting was 70 votes for yes, that's 93%, and 5 votes for no, that's 7%. And then the last question, question 13, again 75 eligible voters who all cast a vote, but there was 1 invalid vote that left a total valid poll of 74, and the breakdown of the voting was for yes 73 votes or 99%, and for no 1 vote and 1%. So as it happens, I don't have to exercise my casting vote. Yeah. So I'll just make some concluding remarks and wind up the proceedings. Just to say, just to recall that over the course of the 2 weekends, we have considered the ways in which Ireland could transition to being a leader in tackling climate change in the energy, transport and agriculture sectors. This weekend we've made important recommendations, both in terms of transition in the sectors which I've mentioned, but also to encourage greater ambition from the state and from the government. The members led the development of these recommendations, which were reflected on the ballot paper. Throughout the process this weekend, I emphasised the levels of support that all of the members gave to us, and the amount of assistance we got in relation to formulating the ballot paper, and the high level of input from the members in that formulation throughout the process. And in the history of the process was explained when I was explaining the ballot paper. So I'm not going to go back over that again. I just wanted to let you know what's going to happen next. You've made your recommendations through the completion of the ballot paper, and I presume they have been collected. You've provided in writing your thoughts on what should be included as ancillary recommendations of the Assembly. These will be collated, and where there's consensus in relation to the recommendations, they will be included as a separate section in the report, in the same way as we did in relation to the 8th Amendment. Now, the next job is for the Secretary and for myself, and that's to finalise the report and to furnish it to the Houses of the Oireachtas. And realistically, I expect that it will be the new year before we're in a position to do that. But in any event, the Secretariat will communicate the contents of the report, and the date will be submitted to the Houses of the Oireachtas to you in advance of that happening. And really, all it remains to do now is to thank everybody for their involvement in the process. We were very lucky, I have to say, to have received such very, very good presentations from all of the speakers. I would be very surprised if everybody who was in the room wasn't amazed at the amount of information we got and the manner in which we got it. And I'm speaking for myself now. I understand the implications of climate change much better now than I did 3 months ago, and I suspect everybody in the room, all of the members feel the same way. The other thing was that we had very good facilitators and note takers assisting the members during their roundtable discussions, leading to Q&A sessions and all of that. And again, I want to thank them. And I mustn't forget the expert advisory group, and the epithet I use and have used on all occasions when referring to the 3 expert advisory groups which have assisted us is invaluable. And the reality is the work of the expert advisory group on every occasion has been invaluable. And quite frankly, I have to say, we couldn't have got to where we've got without them. And this is particularly true in this case, because I have to be honest, it was a topic about which I knew hardly anything, and I feel so much wiser now. But I'm really, really grateful for the work of the expert advisory group and the guidance they gave us. And I'm not forgetting the members. Once again, did I use the word gobsmacked before? I think I did. But I have, throughout this process, I have been gobsmacked by the level of involvement and engagement by the members continuously, and that's the important point, continuously in the process, and in particular on the very difficult days of the meetings. Yesterday, we had a private meeting on Friday evening. Yesterday, we started at 9 o'clock and we went on all day, and it was constant concentration. And I'm quite sure everybody was exhausted yesterday evening. I certainly was. And it is absolutely amazing that our members still have this level of engagement with the process, and I'm really, really grateful to them. It just does amaze me that the members' dedication and enthusiasm has not waned over the process. We've been at it for over a year now, and it's just the time that is given and how it must impact on your ordinary life is amazing. And you are performing an amazing civic duty, and I'm very grateful. And I would also like to thank the Secretariat for all the assistance that they give us. Again, the whole process is administered so well. Again, I think I'll use the word again, gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked. But really, I have had from the outset unbelievable support from the Secretariat, and I want to honestly say how grateful I am to them. So anyway, that's it. On the climate change issue, we're moving on into the fourth topic. That's the manner in which referenda are held. That will have one weekend, and but we'll probably set the ball rolling for submissions maybe in the next fortnight. So that's it. I was warned by one member several times not to forget to say Happy Christmas. So Nulloch Fawasha Jeef Galer.